Lester Gibbs here with theboxingwiz.com in association with FightHype.com. Today is Tuesday. People won't get to see this today, but today's also Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury's official press conference to announce the trilogy. Did they give you a call for potentially coming in?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. So did Adam. Adam's camp too. Karnacki.
For the Hellenius rematch.
For the Hellenius rematch.
Are you doing both?
Neither.
What?
I got a date. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I can't
might have a date.
Now I got a date. We just got to secure opponent and everything like that. But and so if I got a date, I can't like disrupt like my camp to help somebody else in theirs.
Wow. Damn. Are you? I guess the possibility of being a main event, is that more exciting than the possibility of being in that camp for the trilogy? I mean, that's history. Like, if he does beat, that's history.
Yeah, but that's his history. It's not really mine. You know what I'm saying? So mine is to have my first main event, and especially like where it's at. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be in New Jersey. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I got family all over New York, and I got people in Jersey. So that'll be their opportunity to come to my fight and see me perform, especially off the strength that I haven't been to New York in like 2 years.
So not being in New York in 2 years, is that gonna affect the amount of people that come see you, or you think that's gonna make them come out?
It'll make them come out even more, because every time I have a fight, they're always asking, where is it? And when I always say like, oh, it's in Cali, they're like, they're like, yo, when it's in anywhere in the tri-state, let me know. I'm beating. So,
So this is special to you.
Exactly.
And you're 12-0 right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Damn, so 12-0 main eventer.
Yep.
You almost sound like Shakur Stevenson from North.
Be nice.
Yeah.
So it made sense why he got it, and I'm gonna make it make sense why they're giving it to me.
So when did you get the call that you would be possible main event? And what was your initial reaction to that?
Probably like, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that, and it was like they gave two dates, two possibilities. One was I could fight on Wilder Fury 3,
Wow.
or I could fight a week later as a main event. And so of course, they were like, just like the reaction you just gave, I immediately was like, oh, Wilder Fury 3. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
The exposure on that is going to be big and all that. So I was like, oh yeah, Wilder Fury 3, no brainer. But as it got closer and closer to them, like, getting to this point, like the press conference and everything like that. And then I remember, because I was like up late, just watching boxing and everything like that. And then I saw a thumbnail for one of these boxing channels, and it said that the undercard got leaked. And so I went to it. I'm looking at it, and I saw a bunch of matchups and everything like that, but I didn't see my name on there at all. So then I was like, right there, it made me think that maybe I'm probably gonna get the date. I'm probably gonna get is the 31st. And then sure enough, like by the next day, I got confirmation on that it was gonna be the 31st. I was like, yeah, I figured that. Because everyone was matched up except Jared Anderson. His name was the only name on there it was on there by itself. They had FA with
no way
Sanchez.
Top Rank was gonna do that though.
I didn't feel like they would do that right now.
Would you have done that?
Yes.
Right now.
I told you that. Yeah. So like, yeah, I'd have did that. But I didn't think that they would do that right now. And so that right there had me believing that it's probably gonna be 31st. So once they said 31st, I was like, yeah, I figured that. And honestly, initially, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, whatever, all right, 31st. But once they said it was in Jersey, I was like, oh yeah, 31st, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking 31st, but it's gonna be like in Cali again. They said 31st, and it's gonna be in the Northeast where I'm from. I was like, that's better than me, because it gives me opportunity to
show what you got.
Exactly. Have my own thing going.
Damn, did you know this year was gonna be this good?
They said it would be, and they keeping their promise. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta like do my part now.
So how are you in terms of? Well, you know what? Let's stick to today being the Wilder Fury press conference.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, man. What's your thoughts on the? I mean, you think it's going to be some fireworks? I remember Fury shoved them at one of the press conferences.
I think all that stuff that happened at the first two press conferences was before it was known to Wilder that Fury was a cheater. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how to correlate with this one. I know what I would do with this one.
What would you do?
I would do something very similar to like Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, where Canelo he said the minimum, the bare minimum. He let Billy Joe Saunders yap and everything like that, and Canelo said like the minimum. And then when they got in the ring, he did the most. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Did you think this fight was going to happen after all the time and allegations and, you know, all the announcements of an alleged AJ Fury fight?
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen. And part of the reason is because I just don't believe nothing that Tyson Fury says, man. Like, I don't believe, like, when it comes to the stuff we can't see, like when it comes to the stuff that the fans can't see, I don't believe what he says too tough, to be honest with you, because too many times it's been proven to be false. So that's just me though. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's Tyson Fury fans who, you know, they hang on to his every word. I don't, and I just felt like you know, at the end of the day, it was going to be up to the judge, and in my opinion, the evidence spoke for itself. You know what I mean? You can't ignore the evidence.
So we're here now, and obviously you work with Malik Scott. Well, have you worked with Malik Scott?
I've never worked with him. Like, he's never been there. Like, by the time he gets there, I'm already gone.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
And I've been there because I know.
I've been there when he's done pad work with other sparring partners that have been there, so that's unfortunate.
It's to my understanding that he comes through at the tail end of the camp, and I've always either been there the first week or the second week of this sparring. I think only one time out of the 4 times I was in this camp was I there the last week of sparring, you know, with the sparring partners. But I've never been there at that tail end when Malik Scott gets there.
But I'm sure you've seen the clips.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Deontay is looking from the clips?
I mean, we had this conversation last time where I told you, I was like, in a 3-minute clip.
I mean, but it's been more than 3 now. It's been several 3-minute clips.
For sure. But I'm one of the people who always said, like, you know, everybody be like, oh, he's wild and da-da-da. I'm like, listen, he does that. He might do that in the fight, but I've been in there sparring with him, and you've seen him spar. He don't be doing that in sparring. In sparring, you see him use technical skill. Like, you see him on his toes, like whipping jabs and everything like that. So I'm not surprised by what I'm seeing now with him and Malik Scott, because I already knew he possessed that. What he does, what he's been doing in the fights, when you see him go wild, it's not like the bell rings and he just comes out winging like these wild shots. When the bell rings, he comes out snapping jabs, you know, freaking, he parries, he'll try to throw the right hand and everything like that. So it's not like Wilder is just now developing technical skill. He's always had that jump. I think with you know, being with Malik Scott, they're probably just going to see it a lot more in the actual fight. But I already knew already felt like he already possessed that type of skill. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't wait to see him do it in the fight. You know what I'm saying? More in the fight, because he does it.
You sound confident. You say you can't wait to see him do it, so you're expecting him to actually apply what he's been showing us in these clips in the fight.
He's applied it before in fights.
The reason I say that is because when I speak to other experts, and by that I mean other professional fighters or trainers, and they say the opposite. They say, oh, we gotta see, can he apply it? He's like, oh, it looks good on pads. Can he do it in sparring? Is he gonna do it in the fight? Is what other people are saying.
But a lot of them have never seen him outside of seeing him in his actual fights or seeing him on a 3-minute video. I've been in his camp and I've seen him do these technical things. I've been in the camp and seen him do it, so I already know he can do it. And besides, when he fought Stavern the first fight, he didn't show technical skill in that fight. Of course he did. He showed technical skill when he went against the French dude. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, him. He showed technical skill in that. It's when he goes to finish you, the street fighter come out of him where he's like, all right, I'm trying to get you out of here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he throws the wide, long punches and stuff like that. But so what? It was getting the job done. What's the complaint? I don't understand what the complaint is. It's better than this. It's better than him going in there with his hand halfway in the glove, and the glove in the back of his hand smacking his forearm. I'm not trying to hit that. Like,
speaking of these gloves, man, what are you expecting now? Now that all the allegations have been made, now that there are fans like yourself that believe there was tampering of Tyson Fury's gloves, what are you expecting from Deontay Wilder's team, from the boxing commission, so that this doesn't happen again in the trilogy?
I expect everything to be on the up and up, and everything to be under a microscope. I'm talking about, when I say under a microscope, you see how like you see these videos of like how Floyd used to handle his business. Like he'd be like, he see anything that look fishy, he like, nah, y'all ain't pulling that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I expect that. That's what I expect. And you see how Leonard Ellaby follows suit. Floyd catch something that look fishy, Leonard Ellaby is on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I expect to see. You know, with Wilder and his people. And you know, I've been around them too. Like, you know, in the camp and everything like that, because you know we're not just sparring partners. Like, we don't just spar him and then go back to the hotel and just sit around in the hotel. They actually, like, you know, kick it with us and chill and stuff like that. We talk and stuff like that. And as far as what I can see, they cool people. You know what I'm saying? And they really rock with Deontay. So that being said, I feel like they're gonna be on it for their guy. You know what I'm saying? And everything's gonna be under a microscope on Tyson Fury's team, or for Tyson Fury's team.
So, obviously, you know Adam Kownacki pretty well. He's getting his rematch, and he gets to have it on the highest level versus Robert Helenius on the Wilder-Fury trilogy, or Fury-Wilder trilogy card, undercard. What's your thoughts on that matchup, man? What are you expecting, first of all?
I think it's going to be a good fight, just like the first one. Even though the first one only went 4 rounds, that was a good 4 rounds. It was action. You know what I'm saying? It was like basically non-stop action in that 4 rounds. And I expect that it's going to be the same thing for this one. Again, I've also been in Adam's camp multiple times, probably like 5 times. And you know, I know his trainer, and I know his trainer he knows what he's doing. He strategizes and stuff like that. And he's going to give Adam all the tools, you know, that he needs to beat Helenius. It's just going to be on Adam to apply it in the ring. That's it.
What do you think about the psyche of Adam? Like, will he be able to still? I mean, obviously you're not him and you're not in his body, but I mean, do the best you can, right? Like, do you think he'll be able to perform the way that he used to? And by that I mean high output after suffering that knockout loss, or will he be a little tentative? What are you expecting from him?
I mean, I've like in the multiple times that I've been in the ring sparring with Adam, I don't know him to be no sucker or whatever, like, so I feel like he's gonna come out with the same confidence that he had in the first fight. He feel like he's going to beat him, and I think he's going to come out, and that's what he's going to try to do. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, you know, he just has to apply the whatever tweaks they worked on in this camp. He's just gonna have to apply it. That's what it comes down to, because you know your trainer can do whatever they have to do to like try to make you better and everything. But at the end of the day, if you don't apply it, then I mean the same result is gonna happen. So
you leaning with repeat or revenge?
I'm leaning with revenge. You know, as long as he applies the tools that I know Keith Trimble was going to you know, try to instill in him in this camp. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they hit me up to come into camp and spar or whatever, which is a big difference from the last fight. So you know,
big difference why? Because you called them the last time?
Nah, the last time
they didn't call me.
Yeah, nah, and from what I can see, it, you know, no knock to nobody, but it didn't seem like it was the it didn't seem like they had the usual
training camp.
No, the usual competition in like sparring competition, or like the sparring partners weren't of a certain caliber, I guess, or whatever. But
you're basing that off his performance.
You know, a lot of it, you know, who you choose to go in there with in sparring can have, you know, a big effect on how you perform in the ring. Like if you in there with, you know, these guys who are just like so much, you know, like you're just on a way higher level than they are, and you basically go in there and do whatever. A lot of times that can cause complacency in the actual fight. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that you was getting away with in sparring, you might get complacent, think you can get away with that in a fight, and then you get caught with something, you know. And Robin Helenius, he ain't no sucker neither. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of any of his losses, in his losses, he fought and lost. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just go in there and just lose. He fought and lost, and he looked like he be throwing stuff with bad intention. Like if you look at his face, he be like grinding his teeth and everything like that when he throw punches. He be trying to snap you. So freaking, I think. You know, a higher level of sparring competition and everything like that, all that stuff is going to help. All that stuff is going to help out. So, you know, I'm rocking with the Brooklyn boy, you know what I'm saying, Adam. And when it comes to Wilder Fury, I'm rocking with Wilder.
Frank Sanchez taking on Efe Ajagba. It's almost like PBC versus Top Rank, but Sanchez kind of not really PBC because he's been on a few DAZN cards with Canelo team. But what do you think of that, man? I mean, he's obviously got the Canelo team in his corner, and Ajagba has left PBC and now with K. Kimura and Top Rank.
I think that's going to be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be a pretty exciting fight. Ajagba, he's like the big thing with him. Everybody talks about is the power. Sanchez, he got the craft, and that'll be a clash right there. Which one wins? The crafty heavyweight or the powerhouse? You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's going to make for a good fight. No pick. I don't have no pick, just in case if that's the next question. I really don't have no pick, but I just can't wait to see it.
Do you think Sanchez is capable of a stoppage? And do you consider Ajagba chinny after Kalides put him down?
I don't think he's chinny because I think everybody is capable of getting wobbled.
Well, he went down.
He went down, but he got right back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that looked more like a flash knockdown than him being like hurt. You know what I mean? So he got back up. But it does say that because how you say his name, Kalaji? Yo, I don't know if he was being touted as a puncher when he was a cruiserweight, but as a heavyweight he wasn't. And the fact that he was able to touch him the way he did, because he touched him, it wasn't even like he didn't stand his ground and throw a hard punch. He hit him retreating, and he was able to drop him. If he could do that, I'm sure Sanchez if he catch Ajagba at the right moment with the right punch, he could drop him too. You know what I mean? But vice versa.
Anthony Joshua and the possibility of him defending those unified belts versus Alexander Usyk for that WBO mandatory spot. There's been some rumors of maybe vacating the belt. Do you think they vacate, or you think he actually fights Usyk? And if he does, how do you see that fight playing out?
I don't know if they'll vacate. I hope not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you hope what? That they don't?
I hope he don't vacate. Fight him. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been saying since like 2016 that, you know, like since you got your first belt, that you wanted to be undisputed. Vacating a belt, there's no excuse for it. I can tell you that. I don't care what the excuse could be. I don't care if you feel like oh, Wilder messed up undisputed and all that other stuff. That plays no factor into you vacating a belt because you don't want to fight someone else who's your mandatory fighter. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, in my opinion, it's a bad look.
How did you see that fight playing out?
I think in that case we're talking about skill versus power. Because if I had to like say skill for skill, I'd probably say Alexander Usyk got him on that, right? Anthony Joshua has skill, but Alexander Usyk, to me, has more. He fights better on his toes than Anthony Joshua does, but he don't got the crack that Anthony Joshua has. And I think, you know, I mean, we've seen Usyk in what, 2 heavyweight fights. I think that's enough to, like, especially who he went against. That's enough to tell if he got heavyweight crack versus, you know, cruiserweight. I don't think he got the crack like that. But again, power means a lot in the heavyweight division. But if you got enough skill, you can nullify that. So.
You think he's got enough skill to stay away from the power of AJ for 12 rounds?
Nah, if I have to pick who I'm going for the win, I would say AJ would beat him. Hence why I don't want him to vacate that belt. I think he should take it. I think he should take it, man. And I think it's not going to be an easy fight, but I think it's a winnable fight for him.
Dillian Whyte's been rumored to face Trevor Bryant or someone else in an American Reed debut, because he did fight on the Crawford undercard versus Markham Tan. That being said, would you want to be called on for that Dillian Whyte fight? Do you think you're ready for a Dillian Whyte fight? I think I could beat Dillian Whyte.
Beat him?
Yeah, you didn't even say you ready. You said you think you could beat him.
Yeah, I think I could beat Dillian Whyte. You know, for how much he talks trash about Wilder for being wild and oh, he's not technical. Dillian Whyte is not that technical himself. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and I'm not saying he can't fight, because son can fight. You know what I'm saying? He can fight, obviously. You know what I'm saying? He's proven that on multiple occasions. But let's not get it twisted. He's not some technical beast himself. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he talk a lot. You know what I mean? But if he go against Trevor Bryant, that'd be a nice fight. I've sparred against Trevor Bryant. He would have to deal with a stiff jab. I know that.
He's got a good jab?
Trevor Bryant, yeah, he might not have the fastest jab or anything like that, but he has a hard jab, you know what I'm saying? And he uses it, you know what I mean? So that's something that Dillian Whyte will have to deal with.
Do you think that fight is possible, you being PBC? Because he's not with anyone. Like, he works with Eddie, but he's not Matchroom and he's not Sky, and Eddie is not even with Sky anymore. How realistic you think a Dillian Whyte fight is?
I mean, if that's the case, then that means he can make his own decisions. So realistically, if he wanted to fight me, he could. Because if he said he wanted to fight me, I'm gonna say yes.
Obviously, you mean he's the A side. You can't send an offer to him. He's got to request to fight you.
Exactly. I can admit that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be a Cassius Chaney. You know what I'm saying? Like, freak, I can admit that. You know what I mean? He's the A-side. If me and him were to fight.
And how do you see that fight playing out?
I get him.
I know you said you'll beat him, but like, are we to just assume every heavyweight fight ends in knockout?
I know, and I think that's the problem with boxing is like everybody's going into fights expecting to see a knockout. Whatever happened to beating a motherfucker up? Like,
because
I think that's just as popping to watch somebody get beat up. You know what I'm saying? And it's blood. You know what I'm saying? That's just as popping to me. Like personally, I would, if I'm paying for a ticket or paying for a pay-per-view or whatever like that, I'm dedicating my time to watching the fight. I would rather see someone get beat up to a knockout than just to see the bell ring and someone get knocked out. Now, see the bell ringing and somebody getting knocked out quick is exciting or whatever like that, but I'd rather see motherfuckers going at it. I'd rather see them like banging and then eventually it lead into a knockout. And I also wouldn't mind seeing someone get put through a clinic either. You know what I'm saying? Like basically like Mayweather versus Canelo. To me, that fight was popping. I liked that fight because every single round you just saw a clinic. You saw Mayweather's eyes wide open, looking, seeing everything that Canelo was going to do. Him turning, counter-punching, taking the lead, fighting off the back foot. All of that stuff to me is exciting. I like that type of stuff. And maybe it's because my introduction into boxing was more about the older guys. And I'm talking about like 40s, 50s and stuff like that, where these dudes were sitting there like, they were like breaking you down step by step and then knocking you out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, and that was a time where the fans really appreciated that. It wasn't all about just the bell ringing and knocking somebody out.
Remember, nobody cared for Vlad, and he was doing that. His knockouts came after the 8th to 10th round.
Exactly why I said the 40s and 50s. Oh. I'm not talking about I'm not even talking about, like, that's late 90s and early 2000s. I'm talking about
I didn't hear the
40s and 50s. 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s. Did the bell ring and it was just a knockout against Sugar Ray and Hearns? No. They was going at, especially the second fight, they were going at it. They dropped each other, got up, just kept fighting on. It went to the final bell, and at that final bell, the fans were roaring because what they watched was a gladiator match, you know, between two guys who were like evenly matched, and it made for a good fight. It wasn't just like, you know, some quick one and done.